Moving on to listverse.com with a story by Stefani Jacoby, 10 Eerie Native American Monsters. And Stefani begins. The story of American mythology begins long before European settlers set foot on North American soil. And contrary to popular belief, there's more to First Peoples history than buffalo hunts, teepees, and feather headdresses. Hundreds of tribes from Alaska to Mexico nurtured an incredibly complex culture. More than one, most likely. Including a mythological system that rivaled that of the ancient Greeks. But if you thought Greek mythology was a bit edgy, you'll find that even the most disturbing antics of Olympia's ancient gods seem patently tasteful compared to the macabre legends associated with Native American mythology. These monsters have haunted various corners of North America for thousands of years. Because their tradition was an oral one, many of the stories have variants, as diverse as the people who still tell them. But they all have one thing in common: gruesome facts that will make your skin crawl. Number 10, Skinwalkers. According to Navajo legend, Skinwalkers are accomplished medicine men or witches who reach the highest level of the priesthood but choose to use their powers for evil rather than good. Skinwalkers take the form of an animal for the purpose of inflicting pain upon others. The initiation procedure is pretty tough. All prospective skinwalkers must kill a close relative. Once a prospective skinwalker passes that test, he gains immense magical power, including the ability to shapeshift. These abilities enable skinwalkers to turn into any animal they choose, though the top choices are usually foxes, owls, coyotes, wolves, or crows. The most feared and or revered animals in Navajo mythology. Though Skinwalker lore goes back into ancient Native American history, stories of the evil sorcerers still circulate today. Witnesses report seeing or hearing them knocking on windows or doors, peering through windows, or otherwise trying to frighten and inflict harm. Skinwalkers are immortal, but according to legend, it is possible to annihilate them. Quote, "Those who do track a skinwalker and learn of their true identity must pronounce the name of the evil one in full. Once this happens, the skinwalker will get sick or die for the wrongs they have inflicted against others." Number 9, Two-Face. With parallels among the Sioux, Plains, and Omaha tribes, the two-faced monster, also known as Sharp Elbows, is a humanoid two-faced person who delights in torturing and killing unsuspecting victims. Anyone who sets eyes upon Two-Face's second set of features will be killed or paralyzed by fear. Two-Face most often preys upon children and pregnant women, usually killing them by stabbing them repeatedly with his razor-sharp elbows. According to some legends, Two-Face is a cannibal. In all legends, he gruesomely disfigures his victims before he moves on. In Lakota legends, Two-Face is most often a woman who's been turned into a two-faced monster after trying to seduce the sun god. According to these, one of the faces is beautiful and one is horrifying, which to the Native Americans represents disharmony and departure from tradition. Even in stories where Two-Face is not an evil monster out to torture the weak, she still represents nonconformity. Hence the two faces. Number 8, the Horned Water Serpent. Countless Native American tribes recall stories of giant snakes, but one of the most captivating is that of the Horned Water Serpent, an almost impossible-to-kill creature with magical scales that give hunters good luck for the rest of their lives. Legends say that the snake, called Uktena in many stories, boasts a powerful body as broad as a tree trunk, intimidating curved horns, and shiny spots. Uktena can be killed when shot in the 7th scale from the top of its head. Good to know. According to Cherokee legend, a great warrior successfully killed an Uktena and brought back the shining 7th scale, which resembled a large transparent crystal with a blood-red streak at its heart. The crystal, like a living thing, retains mysterious power. If it's not satiated by being coated in the blood of small game every week, it takes on the appearance of fire and goes out in search of blood, which it takes by murdering people. Legend says that the warrior who owns and feeds the crystal will enjoy a life of successful hunting. Stiff-legged bear. The stiff-legged bear makes an appearance in the lore of several Native American tribes. The bear is an elephant-sized version of a giant bear with a taste for human flesh. The Penobscot Nation reports the big shaggy mammal has a habit of leaning on trees to rest because it's unable to bend its legs. It would never be able to stand if it ever lay down. In other narratives, the stiff-legged bear is said to have teeth long enough to puncture 7 hunters at once. Some anthropologists speculate that the stiff-legged bear of legend may be very real. Perverted merman. Although he is not a deadly evil spirit, and in reality, compared to some Native American monsters, he looks downright tame, the merman-like creature, Ndamkinowet, is disturbing in his own right. According to Abenaki mythology, Ndamkinowet is half man and half fish, with a slender face. He takes up residence in streams and lakes, where women frequently bathe. But he doesn't get his kicks by eating their livers or scaring the daylights out of them. He just enjoys the sights. Countless other Native American legends speak of mermaid-like creatures as well. In one story passed down by an Algonquin tribe, 2 young girls go swimming against their parents' wishes, and become snake-like and slimy from the waist down. In almost every Native American mermaid fish person legend, the theft of the mer person's clothing automatically relieves the being of its magical powers. Flying heads. This is the stuff of nightmares. According to Iroquois legend, flying heads are disembodied winged heads, hungry for any human in their path. But their hunger can never be satisfied. Because they have no body, they're destined to hunt for blood eternally. The origins of the flying heads vary greatly from story to story. In most cases, they're somehow the result of a murder scene. Some legends state that those who practiced cannibalism became flying heads as punishment for their horrific behavior. Some legends also refer to flying heads as whirlwinds, because they're often accompanied by a powerful rush of whipping wind. In almost all stories, the heads are undead monsters, but they're not entirely impossible to kill. One Iroquois story reports that a flying head accidentally ate a hearthstone, along with roasted chestnuts, that an old woman was preparing. That hearthstone was the last thing the flying head ever ate. It burst into flames and self-destructed, which was probably a relief to the old woman in the story.